Alrighty, boys and girls. So, yesterday we talked about multiplying monomials. So, quick refresher on multiplying monomials. If I have x to the third times x to the fourth, the shortcut, the shortcut is to add the exponents together. But remember, that is a shortcut. This means there are 3 x's. This means there are 4 x's, so all together there are 7 x's. It's important for you to remember that the adding is a shortcut to all the multiplication steps, okay? So today we are going to learn divide monomials. So, like this, whenever the bases are the same, you subtract the exponents. So yesterday, multiplication, you added exponents. Division, you subtract exponents. So this equals. Now, it's important to realize, and this is a nice, really doesn't tell you anything though. So, subtraction can go either way. So if I subtract, I get a to the third. But if I do this, this is 1 over a to the third. And I'm going to explain to you the difference here, what's going on. All right? So if I look at this problem right here, make sure you're writing this down. Let's pause for a second. What is 3 divided by 3? What is 4 divided by 4? What is 15 divided by 15? What is a divided by a? So, you see the pattern there, hopefully. Anything divided by itself is 1. So instead of looking at this kind of horizontally as a bunch of multiplication, instead look at it as a bunch of individual fractions. So a divided by a is 1. If I look here, a divided by a is 1. So what's left on the top of this fraction? 3 a's. What's left on the bottom of this fraction? 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. So this is 3 a's with a 1 on the bottom. And of course, we know when we talk about whole numbers, like for example, 7 is the same as 7 over 1. All right, a whole number is just a 1 in the denominator. We don't usually write that though, we write the whole number. So if the 1 is in the denominator, we write it as a whole number, no fraction. But, let's come over here. What if we have this? 4 on top. What if we have 4 on top and 7 on bottom? Again, if I refocus, instead of looking at this as a bunch of multiplication, if I refocus and I look at it as a bunch of division problems, a divided by a is 1. So now all 4 of those have divided with all 4 of those. Don't say cancel. They're dividing to be 1. What's left on top of the fraction? 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. All of this multiplied together is a to the third, so I have 3 a's in the denominator. So this is why when I subtract, I have 3 positive, a to the third. When I subtract here, don't write -3. Now we're going to talk about that more exclusively on Thursday. Okay, but we don't ever write negative exponents. Instead, I want you to think of this as 1 over a to the third in the denominator. The shortcut way to think about this, whatever your bigger number is, That's where you write your answer. So here I have more A's on bottom, so I write my A to the third on the bottom. Here I have more A's on top, so I write A to the third on top. Remember, this is on top. I just don't write the denominator. So this is still a fraction. It's still over 1. It's on top of the fraction. I just don't write the denominator. Just like with whole numbers, I don't write the denominator of 1. All right, so that's what's going on here. Let's look at some examples. So, it's a division problem. I'm subtracting exponents. 3 minus 4, or 3 minus 7, 7 minus 3. We want to think about it as big number minus little number, okay? If you're always going top down, you're going to get negatives. We don't want to deal with negatives. 7 minus 3 is 4. Where is the bigger exponent? On the bottom. So my answer is x to the 4th, and it's on the bottom. It's 1 over x to the 4th. Number 2. So again, big number, it's a division problem, so I'm subtracting exponents. I don't want to write out 15 x's. I know that 2 of them are going to divide to be 1. There's 13 left. I can just take the shortcut and subtract. Is it going to be on top or on bottom? Well, bigger number on top, so my answer is x to the 13 on top, but I don't write that part. I don't write it, I just write x to the 13th. All right? So, multiple variables, that's fine. This only works for like bases. So we look at the x's, and then we're going to look at the y's. Okay, look at them separately. So if I focus on the x's, I got a 4 on top and a 7 on bottom. Subtract and you get, is it on top or is it on bottom? So it's going to be x to the 3rd on bottom. So just kind of do it piece by piece, all right? Let's see where the next answer goes. But what about the 1 on top? Well, I'm not going to write the 1 on top yet because I don't know where the y's are going to end up. And if the y's end up on top, I don't need to write it. So we can go back and put it there if we need it. I'm not going to put it there yet, all right? So I got y to the 5th, y to the 10th. These problems confuse kids frequently because this is a division problem, but the shortcut trick is subtraction. So when I look at this, I'm going to subtract because it's the shortcut. It's a division problem, but my shortcut is subtraction. So I subtract, I get 5. Is it going on bottom or on top? Y to the 5th on bottom. Now, top's empty. I can't leave it empty, so I'm going to have to put the 1 there. You can't leave that empty. All right, so next. So again, we're going to look at this piece by piece. Look at the x's. I've got 3, this is a 9. 3 on top, 9 on bottom. What kind of problem is this? What is the shortcut trick? Good. Don't start dividing exponents. The shortcut trick is subtract the exponents. So I got 3 on top, 9 on bottom, subtract, you get 6. Is it going on top or going on bottom? 6 on bottom. I got y's. I got 8 on top, 2 on bottom. What is the shortcut trick for exponents? Good. What are you going to get? Good. Is it going on top or going on bottom? Good. Y to the 6th on top. See, that's why I told you not to write the 1, all right? Because if something goes up there, I don't have to have a 1. I don't have to put it there. Next. So again, take each one at a time. I've got Y to the 7th, y to the 3rd, subtract, you get 4. Is it going on top or on bottom? Good. Take a look at the y's. Y to the 4th, y to the 4th, subtract, you get 0. Pause all this for a second. There is a rule you need to write down. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. All right? Anything to the 0 power equals 1. Write that down. Special rule. Long explanations, just trust me for now. We will get into the explanations as we get going through this chapter. Right now, anything to 0 power equals 1. So, why does it equal 1? Think about that example we wrote out in the beginning. There would be 4 y's at the top. There would be 4 y's at the bottom. All 4 at the top are going to divide with all 4 at the bottom and just give you a bunch of 1s. That's one of the explanations. We'll talk about a little bit more explanations Thursday. All right. So, coming back here, this is 1. Okay? So there's no y's left. They've all subtracted out. They're gone. They've all divided out. Excuse me. They're gone. So there's no y's left in this answer. 0. Don't write y to the 0 power. Okay? The answer is just x to the 4th. Now, we said this was on top. Do I have to write a 1 on the bottom? No. Don't have to write a 1 on the bottom. So that's the answer right there. All right, let's bring some coefficients in here. Here we go. Again, we're going to focus on these one at a time. It looks like it's horizontal, but you simplify and do the problem vertical. 30 over 20. This is what kind of problem? Division. 30 over 20. Is there anything that divides into 30 and 20? Anything that I can simplify? All right, find the biggest number if you can. 10 would be the biggest number, so I'm going to divide by 10. So I have 3 on top, 2 on bottom. Again, it's a fraction. Keep all of this as one fraction. Don't just write your coefficients separate. Now I look at the x's. I got 4 on top, 5 on bottom. Subtract, you get 1. Where am I going to write that answer? On the bottom. X to the 1st. We usually don't write 1 exponents. Y to the 5th, y to the 7th. Subtract, you get 2 on top or on bottom. Good. That is our answer. Again, it is a division problem. The shortcut trick for exponents is subtraction. Do not ever subtract coefficients. Do not ever divide exponents. The shortcut trick for exponents is subtraction. All right, let's go one more. So, again, focus on them separately. Focus vertically. 24 divided by 12. 2. Is it going on top or going on bottom? Well, if I divide by 12, I get 2 over 1. Don't write the 1 unless you need it. Look at the x's. 5 on top, 7 on bottom. 2. Top or bottom? Look at the y's. 8 on top, 4 on bottom. Subtract, and you get 4, top or bottom. Z to the 3rd, z to the 3rd. 3 minus 3 is 0. So there are no z's left in my answer. There it is, right there. All right. Take your time. Ask questions, get to work.